Welcome to the Victory V-Series webinar. This is Richard Baboni, the president of Victory. I'm here with Jim Kehoe and Laura Gutowski and Kathleen Poulos, and also with Mark Height, our IT manager. So today we'd like to start by talking to you about the new Victory. As you know, I've been with Victory for a year and a half now, and already in this last year and a half, we've seen some significant changes. Our main focus since I've come on board has been the renovation of the product line, which, as you all know, started in March of this year with the UltraSpec series. The UltraSpec series is doing fantastically well 6 months into its history. We're getting rave reviews. It was nominated for the FCSI Innovative Showcase back in April and was one of the 10 finalists. This month, you've probably all seen that the UltraSpec series is on the cover of FER magazine and has been featured in their article on reach-in refrigeration. This month, we're here to talk about the new V-Series launch. Will be happening in the next week. And this is going to be followed by the new Blast Chiller Shock Freezer line that's scheduled to launch in November. And then, towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, we're going to be launching the new horizontal line. So by the time we get to NAFEM next year, you will only be seeing all new products on the Victory stand. This is a very exciting time for us, and we've got a lot of good stories to tell the market and a lot of good reasons for people to come back and choose Victory again. And as you've heard, as of last Friday, we've had some changes to our sales team to make sure that we have the best people taking that message to market. So today we're very happy to welcome both Kathleen and Laura as our new regional sales managers. And before I get into the V-Series introduction, I wanted to give you a little background information on them. Laura joins us after a long experience with Traulson, and she has 16 total years in the refrigeration in the food service equipment sector. She's also been with Direct Supply and most recently with Lakeside, and is a certified food service professional. What you're going to find with both Laura and Kathleen is that they have years experience of selling refrigeration and years of experience selling Traulson. As you know, Traulson is our primary competitor, and it's going to be great to have people who know Traulson from the inside out, and as we go up and sell against them on a day-to-day basis. Kathleen also has a long history in food service, starting off working with her dad on the East Coast and then working with her husband subsequently on the West Coast. And she's based out of Southern California, and it's going to be a great asset for Victory after all these years to have a regional based out of the West Coast. Kathleen has worked extensively with schools throughout her career, and as we all know, schools is one of the principal targets for the Victory specification line. Both of them have been in Victory already since Monday, getting training on the Victory product lines and getting up to speed on all the workings of the internal organization. And next week we will be announcing the territory assignments, and you will be hearing from them directly with regards to who's going to be following your rep groups and working with you going forward. So let's get into the heart of what today's webinar is about, and that is introducing the new V-Series. The new the logo, the new Victory logo, lends itself to the new V-Series very nicely. As you see, it's really taking a prominent position in our marketing strategy going forward. If you saw the FER magazine that came out in September, there is an ad for the V-Series, and the theme is "Give me a V." We're very excited about this new launch and the new features and benefits that this line is bringing to our product offering. So the V-Series follows in the steps of the UltraSpec series by addressing three things that we're trying to focus on with all our redesign efforts. First, we're giving all the new products a bold new look. So you can see that it has a very clean, modern design. There's a 45-degree angle on the edges of the doors and of the grills. We're giving it a new technology package. There's a brand new controller on here that is similar to the UltraSpec controller but not as rich, and we'll explain that in detail. Most importantly, perhaps for the V-Series, we've also expanded the configurations that are available. So no longer are you going to be limited just to a 1 and 2 and 3 door refrigerator and freezer. You're going to have half door options. You're going to have glass door options and half glass options. You're also going to be able to offer this with remote refrigeration. You're also going to have a series of other options and accessories that were typically limited to the Spec Series in the past that are going to make the offering of the V Series that much richer going forward. So let's start by talking about the new V Series electronic control. This is an image of the new V Series control panel. As you can see, it has the same 6 buttons that we have on the UltraSpec panel, but as you see on the left of the bottom row of buttons, it says menu instead of HACCP. That's because the key difference between the V Series controller and the V Temp controller that's on the UltraSpec line is that the V Series does not have the real-time clock. So as you know, when you set up the UltraSpec models, that real-time clock has to be set with the date and time, and that's what gives you valuable information when you have power outages and you see not only the time and date stamp, but also the duration of the power failure. Here on the V Series, you are going to get alarms in memory, but you're only going to get 3 alarms instead of 9, and you're not going to be able to see the duration for that reason. On the other hand, we have left some really cool features in the V Series package. Super Cool mode is going to be available. Energy saving mode is going to be available, and you're also going to have the clean condenser alarm and the compressor protection alarm, which have been very well received, and people have been very excited about that offering on the UltraSpec package. As you know, the Super Cool mode runs the compressor constantly for a predetermined amount of time, or until it reaches a lower set point that has been pre-established. Again, as is the case with the UltraSpec controller, the user can go in and adjust these parameters. So if there's a factory preset that runs Super Cool for a half hour, for example, if the user wants to run it instead for an hour, that option is available to them. If the differential is we don't want the product to be brought down within that time that it's running in the constant on mode, less than 2 degrees, for example, if the user wants to set that at 3 degrees or 5 degrees, they have that flexibility. Energy saving mode is the mode that activates based on the number of door opening and closings. And if, for example, there are no door opening and closings for 2 hours, the box will go into kind of a sleep mode that will allow the temperature to rise an extra couple of degrees, and thereby saving on the number of the amount of energy that's taken to maintain the temperature of the box during the night. What about the cabinet construction? Well, we've changed something here from the prior V Series offering. Before, you could get the V Series in an all stainless box or in a stainless aluminum box. Now going forward, you're only going to get the stainless exterior fronts and door and an aluminum interior. The door construction on the inside, the door liner, is going to be in ABS plastic. The cabinets are going to be with reversible door swing, but field reversible just for the one section. The 2 and 3 sections are going to be reversible at the time of order in the factory. The refrigeration system is pretty similar to what was done in the past with the V Series, with the exception that we've cleaned up the construction of the refrigeration package, and we'll show that to you in a subsequent slide. All this information that you're seeing here is also available in the V Series brochure, which you can reach through the link that was sent out to you in the Constant Contact message a week ago, and if you haven't had that, we will resend that and make it available through our website as well. So what about the enhanced design features? Well, we start off by talking about the unique look, and this is very important. I think it really distinguishes all the new Victory products going forward. But there's also a lot of attention to detail. For example, here again we're using the magnetic proximity door switch for the opening closing. The little white dot you see in the center photo is the magnetic switch, which is a very reliable means of managing the lighting and giving the message to the control unit about how many times the door has actually been opened throughout the course of the day. We also have the new horizontal door handles. These replace the Victory Smiley handles going forward. And as you see on the right, we have the new refrigeration package. The grill is going to be removable on the V Series. It's not going to flip up, but it pops off with some snaps. That is a snap-on, snap-off really easy to take off and access the refrigeration package for any kind of service needs or maintenance needs that there are. Here's an up-close picture of the new refrigeration package. I wanted to show you how clean the design is now, how modular the connections are. Even the wrapping and the insulation around the tubes has been changed. As you can see, it's a much nicer package. It's been aligned to be completely perpendicular with respect to the size of the boxes. And the way that the controller is mounted now in this box that is protected to meet the NSF standards allows you to remove the front panel without having any dangling wires. So you just pop it off, set it down, go in and do your maintenance and cleaning, and pop it back on. Let's talk a little bit about the V-Series standard features. So one of the big differences, obviously, is the new electronic control. We still have high-performance top-mount refrigeration. We have the new magnetic proximity door switch. The stainless steel front wraps around the sides now. This is a slightly different construction. There's no seam on the left and right side panels of the boxes now. It's a one-piece construction wrapping to the front. I mentioned the aluminum interior and floor. The other items are items that were available previously, so nothing to highlight there besides that locks are still standard, the camless hinges are still standard, as is the 10-inch cord and plug. One thing to take note of on our boxes is, in fact, the recessed interior lighting, which does not protrude into the usable space in the box. And many of you know that on the true boxes in particular, they have that dangling light that usually gets knocked off and after a very short time is interfering with the movement in and outside of the cabinet. Here now we're pointing to the new models. As I mentioned earlier on, for the refrigerators and freezers, there are 15 configurations each. And something different we're doing this time around is each one has a unique model code. So when you put a glass door on a V-Series now, you're going to order the V-Series model with that code. You're not going to have to order the base model and do an add-on for the glass door. So to explain the model key now, the V is for V-Series, R obviously for refrigerator, or F for freezer. Then the number of doors, 1, 2, or 3 doors. The HD is for the half door solids, GD for the glass door, HG, half glass, HGS in the case that somebody might want a half glass, half solid configuration. All these available on the refrigerators and the freezers, and as you can see, we are also putting the Made in America logo on our brochures going forward. Victory, one of the only truly made in America from the beginning brands, not like we saw in the recent show where Turbo Air is now saying made in Texas by Texans, which I thought was pretty funny. So the options and accessories you're going to see on the V-Series, the changing the door swing, as we mentioned earlier, field reversible on the single section. The expansion valve is going to be available. Fluorescent lighting is going to be standard on the glass door models. LED lighting option is going to be available. You can have the 6-inch legs instead of the casters, which are standard. You can also do 4-inch overall height casters, 3-inch wheel. Remote models, as we said, and optional voltages as well. So I thought it was interesting to put together a little product line comparison guide for you so you would have a clear idea in your head of what's the difference now between the Ultra Spec and the V-Series going forward. So as we said, the Ultra Spec offers the complete line and the most options possible. In your Ultra Spec, you're going to have your pass-throughs, your reach-ins, your extra wides, your extra highs, your dual temps. You are not going to have those configurations available in the V-Series. In your Ultra Spec, you're going to have the stainless steel exterior and interior, stainless steel exterior and aluminum interior and exterior. In the V-Series, we're only going to have the stainless exterior and aluminum interior going forward. Let's take a look at the configurations as we mentioned just on the last slide. So both are top mount units, both are going to have the reach-ins. But all the particular specification products, including the shallow depth, the roll-ins, the air curtains, the fish files, the griddle stands, those are going to remain with the UltraSpec line only. What you're now going to have in the V-Series, half doors, glass doors, remote units, and thermal expansion valve is an option. Design characteristics, we talked about the sleek modern design. This applies to both. There is a difference in the design, but you see the family resemblance because of the 45-degree angle on the new V. The flip-up grill is only on the UltraSpec, not on the V. Proximity switch will be on both. Ergonomic door handles on both. Stainless steel door liners standard on the UltraSpec. EC motors are standard. Actually, that's an error because they're actually still standard on both. Hot gas condensate evaporation on both units. Field reversible doors. The UltraSpec, of course, is reversible with the Rivnut kit. Once again, always better to specify the door swing at the time of order. The V-Series, field reversible in the one section. Optional voltage is now available on both. Correctional package just available on the UltraSpec series. Let's talk about the electronic control a little bit in detail. As we mentioned at the outset, the power failure alarm is proprietary to the UltraSpec models. Critical temperature alarms are going to be on both. The number of alarms that can be held in memory, 9 on the UltraSpec line, 3 on the V-Series line. These items in memory, as you know, rewrite over time. So if they don't get reset and a series of alarms happen to occur, the most recent alarm will always be the one that's kept in memory. Super cool mode available on both models. The intuitive menu applies to both models. Energy saving mode, manager's lockout, clean condenser alarm, and condenser protection alarm, again on both models. For those of you who don't know, the clean condenser alarm will be an indication that maintenance is required to the condenser, and the user will see a flashing light and an audible alarm that they will have to silence and then go in and do the maintenance. If they don't do the maintenance, this error message will repeat, and they can reset it again without doing the maintenance. But at the time when they ignore this long enough and the temperature on the probe gets high enough, the condenser protection alarm will kick in and the compressor will actually shut down. So the box in both cases is designed not to let the compressor overheat and fail due to lack of maintenance. The user programmable parameters are available on both options. The flex temp option, which allows you to have the box go from 28 degrees to 48 degrees, is an option only reserved for the UltraSpec line. The USB memory recorder option, which lets you record data at up to 15-minute intervals for a full year and then download the HACCP data to your PC, that is being restricted to the UltraSpec line. The RS-485 serial interface is what you need to connect to remote monitoring systems. That is standard on both lines. So both lines will be Modbus communications compliant. And both lines will display the temperatures in either Fahrenheit or Celsius. I'm talking about the warranty just a second. I hope that everybody is aware that the UltraSpec V-Temp controller has a 2-year warranty standard. That's not the case for the controller on the V-Series. It will have the regular 1-year parts and labor, and both lines will have the 5-year compressor. This slide shows you a quick user's guide that was prepared by our engineering department that's going to be shipped out standard with every box. Again, showing you how easy it is to go in and use the buttons on this control. Those of you who are already familiar with the UltraSpec line know that the first button on the top right is the power on-off button. The middle button on the top row is the one-touch defrost. The left button on the top row is the on-off button for the light, particularly for the glass door models. This is useful. And then you have the menu scrolling options on the bottom row with the up-down arrows and the set button in the middle. So once again, on the right on the bottom row, where the thermometer is with the down arrow, that's the button that's used to activate the supercool mode. One touch, holding that button in for a few seconds, starts the compressor in the constant on mode, and then again, it'll run for the predetermined amount of time, or can be interrupted at any time just by holding it in again for a few seconds to shut off the supercool mode. Using the menu button on the left, you have access to all the information about the alarms, and you can scroll through and set the temperatures. So this quick reference guide is going to be on a separate sheet as well as being included in the manual. This is the second page of the quick reference guide, just for your reference. Shows the details on the alarms and the error message that can come and what can be done to resolve them quickly. Here's a first glimpse at the price list. The price list will be published in the next few days. Again, trying to make it very clear and easy to use. We have an individual model number for each of the options that are available: the solid doors, the half solid, the glass, half glass, or the half glass, half solid. The V Series is designed to be very competitive with the competition that we have from Charleston G Series, from True. True doesn't have any longer a top-mounted line, so this is actually going against their bottom-mounted line. The Delafield 6000 series, the Beverage Air H series, you're going to find that the pricing we have will allow you to be very competitive with all these people. This is the pricing for the freezer line, and again, this will all be made available to you very shortly. The new spec sheets are already available. If you go to the V Series landing page through the link that was sent the other day, both the brochure and the spec sheets are there. There are 4 spec sheets. Solid door, top mount reach-in refrigerators and freezers are the first 2, and then glass door, top mount refrigerators, and then freezers are the second 2. As you can see, they're in the new Victory format, bright and clean, showing prominently displaying the new logos and the features and benefits, and also showing the new Made in America, Made in USA logo as well. Here on this slide, I'm showing you the advertising that was in the FER September edition, the Give Me a V ad that we've come up with. Again, if you haven't seen or picked up a copy of the food equipment reports for September, you can see that the reach-in that the operator is using there is a 3-door ultra-spec, which is again featured very prominently in the article on reach-in refrigeration. I encourage you to communicate that to your dealers and share that with them, as it's great recognition of how quickly the ultra-spec line has been gaining prominence in our sector. Here on this slide, I'm showing you the constant contact communication that went out to announce this webinar. In the last week, several constant contacts went out. This is going to be an important vehicle for us going forward, as we have many new product introductions in the pipeline, as you know, and also a format for us to communicate to the reps in a news bulletin type format, giving updates on what's happening in Victory, upcoming events, where we'll be participating in trade shows, things that are happening with the internal team, and giving you a chance also to know the internal team a little better in Victory. So please make sure that your people in your organizations know that these will be coming, and take the time to read them, and if for some reason they wind up going into their junk mail, that they give the okay for them to go directly into their inbox. That is the main part of what I wanted to say about the V-Series introduction today, but I also wanted to give you a heads up while you're here about what's coming. So this is the new blast chiller line. The key feature in the changeover of our blast chiller line from the Ali Group supplier Williams in the UK to the Ali Group supplier Friulinox in the northeastern part of Italy is that we will now have blast chiller shock freezers. This is the new control panel that is taking the aesthetic look from the UltraSpec line. As you can see on the shock freezer version, you have hard and soft options for both the chill cycle or the freeze cycle. You have a heated probe, so when you have done a freeze cycle, you can heat the probe for a few seconds and extract it safely. You have a pre-cooling cycle, which is not common to many boxes. It's important to know that Friulinox has been specialized in blast chillers for over 20 years, so their product is leading edge. Will go head-to-head with anyone on the market. Our target is, of course, in the U.S., American Panel, and Irinox as well as the other competitors. This package follows with the design philosophy of everything else we've introduced. Again, a bold new aesthetic look. They're very attractive units. High-tech controller package, has all the features and benefits. This button, as you see on the bottom right with the fan symbol, actually allows a sophisticated chef to control the fan speeds throughout the cycle, and he can also memorize that program afterwards. There are 100 onboard recipe memory slots. About 2/3 of them come with recipes that the factory chefs have developed over time, but you can use the other ones to store your own as well. So these products are already in production and will be available starting in November, probably towards the middle or end of the month. We are going to be stocking in Victory the reach-in models, so there's going to be 5-tray, 8-tray, 10-tray, 12-tray, 16-tray models available in our inventory. And then when you're talking about the larger roll-in or pass-through models, which are also going to be available, those are going to be longer lead times. We'll order them directly for the job from the factory. Factory lead times are about 4 weeks. Transit times are about 4 weeks. So probably overall time for delivery on those larger models made to order will be 8 to 10 weeks. Here again are some of the features. Some of them I've talked about already. The pre-cooling function is a unique feature that allows you to put the product into a box that's already at temperature. They also do have a continuous run cycle, kind of a super cool mode as an option that will run continuously. Again, depending on the chef's ability and the products that he's working with, this could be very useful. The memory we talked about, it goes into an automatic storage mode at the end of the cycle, but these blast chillers are really designed for that function, for blast chilling and blast freezing. These are not supposed to be your everyday refrigeration storage units. They are an investment and should be used to maximize that investment in environments where they do run the blast chilling freezing cycles on a regular basis. This is also a unit that can be connected to remote monitoring. It can also have the onboard printers. Something interesting about these units is that they are almost exclusively in stainless steel, 304 stainless steel inside and out. Just the one smaller model has a different material on the back, but otherwise the sides, top, doors, insides are all in 304 stainless steel. And then we're not done. As we discussed at the beginning and you've heard and been waiting for, we're working on the horizontal lines. We are at a very good point. It's looking very good to finishing things up by the end of the year, beginning of next year. And I wanted to give you an idea of what's coming. So there's a couple of new model sizes. We're looking to do 24-inch option and a 36-inch option. We are looking to have a modular draw solution that works on all the units across the entire range. The new models are all going to be front breathing. They will also have a new door and handle design that will have the same line as the new V-Series line, so you'll see the family resemblance there once again. The refrigerator units are going to be in the sizes you see there now, 24, 27, 36, 48, 60, and 72, and the freezers in 27, 36, 48, and 60, which we didn't have previously. So we'll now have a pretty complete line of specialty tops, salads, big tops, work tops, and part of the reorganization has allowed us to limit the number of refrigeration packages, so we get more internal efficiencies and also ease of maintenance and service on the outside when those needs eventually arrive. So that's the presentation that I wanted to cover today. I'd like to open up for some of your questions. Let me see if Mark can get the lines open. While he's getting the lines open, if anybody wants to send in a question via chat, we can read your chat messages as well. Okay, everybody should be unmuted. Anybody have a question for us?
With the new blast chillers, is the Williams products totally gone?
Products are being phased out. There's going to be limited availability over the next several months. If there are jobs where Williams has been specified, we will obviously try to satisfy you with the Williams products. The Trulinox products will compare one-to-one with the Williams products that were previously offered, and we'll be putting together a comparison sheet for you on that shortly. Also, this is a great question to remind me to talk to you about the V-Series transition. We currently do still have some of the older V-Series models in stock. Again, as we did with the UltraSpec series, we don't want to cut that off from one date to the next. I would say that probably through the end of the year, you will still be able to get the older V-Series configurations, and then from January 1st, we're going to probably want to be exclusively with the new V.
We have a question that was put in for chat. Which units will be Energy Star listed?
So the Energy Star listing on the V-Series are the 1-, 2-, and 3-door refrigerators and the 1- and 2-door freezers.
The next question we have is from Don Kendall. Will there be pizza prep unit available in the new horizontal series?
Yes, absolutely. The pizza prep will continue to be offered in the new series. Any other questions?
Is there any plan down the line to offer heated cabinets in the new V-Series?
Not at this time.
Is there a price increase associated with the October 1 V price list?
The October 1 price list is slightly higher than the old V and less than the stainless V. So the difference there being that there will not, if there's any eventual change, right now there's no change foreseen for any January 1 increase, although we're still evaluating that. So if there would be, there would not be an additional change to the V-Series pricing starting January 1. So this is already the V-Series pricing that's going to be held through 2015.
Will the next-gen program still have the 2 years parts and labor warranty on the V-Series?
Yes, next-gen program is the next-gen program. Any other questions?
So you're going to have a new price list come out January 1st?
Right now, we haven't established when the new price list will be coming out. I know that some of the competitors have announced new pricing in January. True apparently is increasing their pricing in January. So we're evaluating what we're going to do with that. You will actually have advance notice when that happens, if it happens.
Will all this be updated though in auto quotes then, beginning in, it's October now.
Yeah, that's another good point, that the auto quotes has been updated for the V-Series, and I wanted to let you know that we have also created Revit libraries for both the V-Series and the Ultra-Spec line. These are going to be available through KCL, and they are also going to be eventually available through our website as well.
And Richard, I'm sorry I missed it. Are these new brochures all printed up and going to be sent to us soon?
The brochures are at the printers. They should be done this Friday, so they should be mailing out to you next week.
Okay, are we going to be redoing then all the spec sheets as well, besides just the two that you're sending us?
The spec sheets in terms of a printed spec sheet, new package distribution?
Yes. I mean, can we get a quantity of the new spec sheets for the V-Series refrigerators and freezers?
Sorry, I cut you off and I didn't hear the last part of your question. Could you repeat it, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are we going to will we be able to order through Victory, packages of the new V-Series refrigerators and the new V-Series freezers? Like packets of 50 or whatever.
Yeah, for now we haven't reprinted any of the new spec sheets. We've made them available in PDF files, and made them available off the website. We were waiting on finishing the renovation of the line, so we didn't have to do this in multiple dates and multiple mailings.
Okay, so you're going to do it all at one time.
Right.
Great.
Richard, I heard you say that the old S7 will be available until the end of the year. We've got a chain that's determined to use it to the replacement until middle of next summer. How are we going to do that?
Are you saying S7 or V-Series?
S7 RFS.
Oh, the S7 is not going forward to the end of the year. That's not what I said. I was talking about the V-Series going forward to the end of the year.
Sorry. Okay, so we're good on replacements of the 7 for a while?
Well, the S7, we announced that we were stopping as of September 1st with some rare exceptions. So if you do have a chain exception that needs to go out to next year, I'm going to need to know who that is, what kind of forecast you have for the number of units they'll need, and so we can see how we can accommodate you. But if we have been replacing basically all the S7s with the S1s, we do have some S7s in stock. We are obviously building the orders that are in-house, but new orders we were only taking for S1 going forward.
Thank you.
So if you want to send me a separate email on that chain, I'd be happy to take a look at it for you.
I just checked
Any
auto
other
quotes.
questions?
When did you say auto quotes was going to be updated with the new V-Series?
If it's not, or it should basically be already there. If it's not there, it'll certainly be there next week.
Okay, I don't see it there, so I just checked.
Okay. I know that he was, our engineering department was in the final review of editing what they had posted. Any other questions?
I was, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm just wondering if there's going to be any difference in refrigeration load on the glass doors as opposed to the solid doors.
Did you hear that, Jim?
There is a little bit more load. What we're doing is following the marketplace on refrigerators. We're not going to upsize on glass doors because no one else does that in the marketplace. On freezers, we will upsize it one cycle or whatever. So it'll upsize one time on freezer glass doors.
you using standard double glass doors or the new glass?
It comes with the low E glass, so it's state of the art. It's top of the line glass doors.
The glass doors that were available previously as options on the Series 7. Saying that they're the glass doors that were previously.
Yeah, these are the old S7 glass doors. That's correct.
Well, we'd like to thank you very much. We had 56 attendees on the call at one time, which is really great participation. Really appreciate you making an effort to be on the call and be informed. Looking forward to a lot of new great things happening. And any questions that you have, please don't hesitate to reach out either to customer service or myself or to the new RSMs. We are here to support you and looking forward to wrapping up this year in great style. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And